Welcome class 12 students. Today in this part I am going to discuss the topic catalysis. Catalysis. Berzelius in 1835 was the first scientist who made systematic study of the effect of various foreign substances on the rates of chemical reactions. He suggested the term catalyst for such type of substances. The substances which accelerate the rate of a chemical reaction and themselves remain chemically and quantitatively unchanged after the reaction are known as catalysts, and the phenomena is known as catalysis. Points regarding the function of a catalyst. A catalyst may undergo intermediate physical changes, and it may even form temporary chemical bonds with the reactants, but it is recovered unchanged in original form at the end of the reaction. As we are at the end of the reaction and as we get the product, the catalyst will be recovered unchanged in its original form. It only provides the surface for the chemical bonds of a reaction. Next, catalysts are highly specific in nature. It means a catalyst which can catalyze one reaction may have no effect on another reaction, even if that reaction is very similar. Third, the catalyst does not change energy of reactant ER and product EP, that is difference of energy of reactant and product, it remains same. Difference of EP, energy of product, minus difference of energy of reactant remains same. It means the value of change in energy in case of catalyst, it remains same. Now come to the next 2 points, that are promoters and poisons. Promoters are the substances that enhance the activity of a catalyst, while poisons decreases the activity of a catalyst. For example, in Haber's process is used for the manufacture of ammonia gas. In that, molybdenum acts as a promoter for iron, which is used as a catalyst. So this is the reaction here. This is the Haber's process reaction in which nitrogen combines with hydrogen molecule, where this iron acts as catalyst, finely divided iron present in its finely divided form, and it acts as catalyst here. And the molybdenum which is used here, it is act as a promoter which enhance the activity of this catalyst, which this molybdenum enhance the activity of catalyst iron, and they provide ammonia gas by the reaction. Come to the classification of catalysis. Catalysis can be divided into two groups. One is homogeneous catalysis and other one is heterogeneous catalysis. First of all, homogeneous catalysis, when the reactants and products and the catalyst are in the same phase, like in liquid phase, gaseous phase, then the process is said to be homogeneous catalysis. Example can be seen here, that SO2, which is in gaseous form, and oxygen O2, which is also in gaseous form, when they both combine, they both are reacted. When they combine in the presence of a catalyst, that is NO, which is also in a gaseous form, then they provide SO3, which is also a gas and it present in gaseous form. So when all the reactants and products are in same phase and as well as the catalyst is present in same phase, then such type of catalysis is known as homogeneous catalysis. Both the reactants are in gaseous phase, product is in gaseous phase, and the catalyst is also in its gaseous phase. So such type of process is known as homogeneous catalysis. Come to heterogeneous catalysis. The catalytic process in which the reactants and the catalyst are in different phase is known as heterogeneous catalysis. When reactant and catalyst are in different phase. Let's see the example. Example of Haber's process, formation of ammonia, when 3 molecule of hydrogen combine, which is in gaseous form, combines with 1 mole of nitrogen, which is in gaseous form, and the catalyst which is used here, that is iron, and this iron present in its finely divided solid form. So here the phase of reactant and catalyst are different. Phase of reactants are gaseous phase, whereas the phase of a catalyst is solid. So such type of catalytic process is known as heterogeneous catalysis. Come to the mechanism of homogeneous catalytic reactions. How homogeneous catalytic reactions takes place and they form a product. So these reactions can be explained on the basis of intermediate compound formation. It means these reactions are followed by the formation of an intermediate in the reaction. According to this theory, the catalyst combines with one of the reactants to form an intermediate. In this homogeneous catalytic reactions, the catalyst which is used for the preparation of the product, that catalyst firstly combine with one of the reactant and they form a intermediate first. Then the intermediate compound being unstable, as we know that intermediate compounds are unstable because they have very high energy. So being unstable, their decomposition with the other reactant to form the product. Being unstable, they will get decomposed and form the product, and the catalyst is regenerated again. Now let's see with an example. Suppose we have the example of SO2 gas and O2 gas. They combine in the presence of a catalyst NO and they produce SO3 gas, sulfur trioxide. Now let's see the mechanism of this reaction. As it is a homogeneous catalytic process, now let's see the mechanism of this reaction. First of all, the catalyst which we are using in this reaction, that is NO, which is in its gaseous form, it combine with one of the reactant. As we have already discussed here that the catalyst first combine with one of the reactant. So here also this catalyst will combine with O2 gas and they form NO2 in gaseous form. This reaction is very fast reaction. Now in next step, this intermediate, this is known as intermediate. Here the intermediate is formed. This is the intermediate compound which is formed by the combination of one of the reactant and with catalyst. This intermediate, now it is being unstable, it will get decomposed with the other reactant. Here this intermediate will get decomposed with other reactant and other reactant is SO2. We have the other reactant, that is SO2 here. This NO2 will combine with SO2 and they produce SO3 gas plus twice of NO molecule. This reaction is again a very fast reaction. Now as we combine both these reaction, we will get the final equation. We will get the final reaction, that is twice of SO2 plus O2 gives twice of SO3 and all the other products will get cancelled out. So this is the mechanism of homogeneous catalytic reaction in which the formation of an intermediate takes place by the combination of a catalyst. Initially the formation or combination of a catalyst with one of the reactant, and then that intermediate will get decomposed with the other reactant and the catalyst will be regenerated again. Here the catalyst, you can see in the reaction also, this was the catalyst and this is regenerated again. Now come to the mechanism of heterogeneous catalytic reactions. These reactions can be explained on the basis of adsorption theory. The modern adsorption theory is the combination of intermediate compound formation, as we have discussed for homogeneous catalytic reaction, and the old absorption theory. So the mechanism of heterogeneous catalytic reaction based on this modern adsorption theory, which is a combination of intermediate compound formation and the old adsorption theory. The catalytic activity is localized on the surface of the catalyst, as we know that for the adsorption process, adsorption takes place on the surface of the substance only. So the mechanism involves 5 steps here. First is diffusion of reactants to the surface of the catalyst. First of all, the reactants will get diffused on the surface of the catalyst. Second, the adsorption of reactant molecule on the surface of the catalyst. After getting diffused, the reactant molecule will get absorbed on the surface of the catalyst. Third, occurrence of a chemical reaction on the catalyst surface through the formation of an intermediate. After getting adsorbed on the surface of the catalyst, the formation of chemical bonds will takes place on the surface of the catalyst. Now the fourth one, as we know that the adsorption process is reversible in nature, so after getting adsorption in fourth step, the desorption is also there. So desorption of reaction products from the catalyst surface and thereby making the surface available again for the reaction to occur. As we have already studied earlier that desorption is the process of removal of the adsorbed substance. As the adsorbed substance get removed from the surface, then that process is known as desorption, and we also know that adsorption is a reversible process. If there is the adsorption of molecule takes place, then at the same time the simultaneously desorption will also be there. So in fourth step, desorption of the reactant products will take place, and they will provide the surface for more reaction to occur. Now in the fifth step, the diffusion of reaction products away from the catalyst surface. This mechanism can be seen by the example also. So first step is diffusion of the reactant molecule on the catalytic surface. Suppose this is the catalytic surface and these are reacting molecule. In first step, these reacting molecule will get diffused on the catalytic surface. Now the second step was adsorption of these reacting molecule takes place. Adsorption of reacting molecule on the catalytic surface. In second step, these reactant molecule will get adsorbed on the catalytic surface. And the third step is occurrence of a chemical bond. Now the third step will be on at the molecule, as the molecule get adsorbed, and now the third step is occurrence of a chemical bond. So the reactant molecule will form a chemical bond here on the catalytic surface and they will form an intermediate here. And as we know that intermediate being less stable, they will form a product. They will decompose to form a product, and as they get decomposed to form a product, now the process which is occur here, that is desorption, that is removal of the molecule, removal of the substance or the reactants from the catalytic surface, that is known as desorption. So in next step, the desorption of the product molecule takes place, and as the desorption takes place, then the catalyst will be in free form. It get regenerated again. It was the catalyst initially, the catalyst was this, and after desorption the catalyst is again the same. It will get regenerated again, and the product of A and B will be formed. Initially the reactant molecules are A plus B, and after getting adsorbed on the surface of catalyst and forming a chemical bonds, then desorption takes place. Now the products of A and B form, and that is AB product, which forms a chemical bond. So this is the process of adsorption theory. This is an example of heterogeneous catalysis. Let's see one more example of heterogeneous catalysis. Heterogeneous catalysis is the addition of hydrogen to carbon-carbon double bond of organic compounds to form single bonds. As we know that formation of single bond with the help of a double bond, that is a catalytic hydrogenation reaction. So let's see. And this catalytic hydrogenation reaction takes place with in the presence of a catalyst, and that catalyst is platinum catalyst. Suppose this is the surface of a catalyst, and this is the carbon-carbon double bond compound, and this is hydrogen molecule. And hydrogen and carbon-carbon bonds are reactants. So in first step, this hydrogen H2 and ethene C2H4 will get adsorbed on the surface on the metal surface. They will get adsorbed since metal surface is a catalyst here. And in the second step, you can see in the second step, after hydrogen bond breaks, hydrogen atom will migrate along the metal surface. As hydrogen metal get adsorbed on the metal surface, the hydrogen bond will get break in the next step, and hydrogen atom will migrate on the metal surface. In third step, you can see that one of the free hydrogen has attached to ethene molecule C2H4 to form C2H5. One of the hydrogen will attach to C2H4 and form C2H5 ethyl group. and which act as an intermediate here. And for the same time, for fourth step is the second free hydrogen atom is about to attach C2H5 because C2H5 is an intermediate. So the second free molecule of hydrogen, free atom of hydrogen will attach to the C2H5 intermediate and they will form C2H6, ethane, single bonded compound. Now in the fifth step, desorption will occur, and after desorption, ethene C2H6 will dissolve from the metal surface, will remove from the metal surface, and the catalyst which is or the metal surface will be regenerated again and the formation of a product takes place. So this is the process of heterogeneous catalysis or the mechanism of heterogeneous catalysis. Now come to some important features of a solid catalyst. First is activity of a catalyst. The activity of a catalyst depends upon the strength of chemi-adsorption. To a large extent, the reactant must get adsorbed reasonably strongly on the catalyst to become active. A catalyst may accelerate a reaction to as high as 10 to the power 10 times. Or for a hydrogenation reaction, the catalytic activity increases from group 5 to group 11. Group 5 to group 11 metals with maximum activity being shown by group 9 and 10 group 7 to 9 elements of the periodic table. The catalytic activity for hydrogenation reaction, it increases from group 5 to group 11 in the periodic table, and it is observed maximum for group 7 to group 9. This can be seen by the example, the catalytic activity of H2 plus O2. They combine with each other in the presence of a platinum and they form H2O molecule. So activity of a catalyst depends upon the strength of the chemical bond formation. Activity defines the strength of a catalyst to form a chemical bond. Now come to the next, selectivity of a catalyst. The selectivity of a catalyst is its ability to direct a reaction to yield a particular product selectively. When under the same reaction condition, many products are possible. It means for a particular reaction to give a product, the catalyst should be selective. Now let's see. Selectivity of different catalysts for the same reactant is different. This is important. Selectivity of different catalysts for the same reactant is different. For example, if we start with hydrogen H2 and CO and using different catalysts, we will get different products. If our reactant is CO and H2 and it combines in the presence of nickel catalyst, they form CH4 plus water. If our reactant is again same, that is CO and H2, but we are changing our catalyst here. Here catalyst is Cu, ZNO and Cr3O3, then the product will be differ in this case and the product form is CS3OH. Next is, again if I am taking the same reactant and the catalyst is different, then I am getting the different product, that is SCHO again. So selectivity of a catalyst is it means then as the catalyst is same, as the reactant is same, then the catalyst may be different for different reactions. To the next, safe selective catalysis by zeolites. The catalytic reactions that depends upon the pore structure of the catalyst and the size of reactant and product molecule. Depends upon the pore structure of catalyst and the size of reactant and product molecule are known as safe selective catalysis. Zeolites are good shape selective catalysis because of their honeycomb like structure. Zeolites are some shape selective catalysis and they have a honeycomb like structures. They are microporous aluminosilicates with three-dimensional network of Silicates in which some silicon atoms are replaced by aluminium atoms, giving aluminium oxygen silicon ALOSI framework. The reactions taking place in zeolites depends upon the size and the shape of the reactant and product molecule, as well as upon the pores and cavities of the zeolites. Zeolites being very widely used as a catalyst in petrochemical industries for cracking of hydrocarbons and isomerization. Zeolite catalyst used in the petroleum industry is ZSM-5. The zeolite which is used in petroleum industry, that is known as ZSM-5. It converts alcohol directly into gasoline or petrol by dehydrating them to give a mixture of hydrocarbons. So these are the structures. This is the structure of zeolite. As we have already discussed that zeolites are shape selective catalysts and they have honeycomb like structure. This is the structure of zeolite or the shape selective catalyst. Now let's see some question and answer related to the topic. Question first is, what is the role of desorption in the process of catalysis? Answer, in the process of catalysis, when desorption occurs from the surface of the catalyst, the surface becomes ready to absorb the fresh reactants. Desorption is removal of the adsorbed particles. So as the desorption occurs on the surface of the catalyst, the surface becomes ready to absorb fresh reactants. Question second, why it is necessary to remove CO, carbon monoxide, when ammonia is obtained by Haber's process? Answer is, since carbon monoxide acts as poison for the catalyst in Haber's process, and it will lower the activity of the catalyst. As we have already discussed earlier, the two terms that are promoter and poisons. Poisons are those terms which lowers the activity of a catalyst. So in the Haber's process, ammonia acts as when we obtain ammonia, this CO acts as poison here, and it lowers the activity of the catalyst. Thus, CO must be removed from the Haber's process. Now, there are some practice questions for you. Do these questions. Thank you. That's all for today.